I think you come to the Belgian to win it. One that always fight.
Hello and welcome to the Don Morel Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. And Coach, we sit down after a road loss to Denison last Saturday, a 28-24 contest where the Little Giants had a chance late in the game to try and come back and find a way to grab a victory. But it was a play that was kind of a signifier of things that had happened throughout the game. Fourth down, had a ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. And I heard in a college football game later that evening that I was watching when I was home that, so many times football games are won in the trenches. Was Saturday a game where it was just a case of, for that game on that day, Denison was a little more effective with their defensive line, getting some pressure on Liam, taking us a little bit out of our what we wanted to try and do to be successful with the running game and being able to give him enough time in the passing game?
We really look at it as we probably had 9 opportunities to win that game. We were up 24-14. We failed to convert some critical third downs. Everybody took a turn in it. We had more drops Saturday than we've had all year. We missed an assignment on another play. And these teams are all built in a certain manner. Denison is built to, at the most give up 24 points. They gave up 21, I think, to DePaul. They gave up 21 to Witt, and then it went into overtime. So I think the best thing I can make out of it is it's a real opportunity for us to say we're not going to make these mistakes anymore. We have our whole future ahead of us. First, it starts with Kenyon this week. Witt plays DePaul, so that's going to sort this conference thing out. But to be a champion in this league, you need to try to hold somebody to 24 points, or you got to score more than 24.
That brings me to the point I wanted to make. The bottom line is, while it is a loss, 2 things came out of it. It's an opportunity to learn from it. I'm sure you and the players have both gone through the film, figured out some things. You mentioned the drop passes, and just some execution pieces. But you also still have all of your goals in front of you. So it's a game that didn't, it's costly in terms of you'd like to win the conference and be undefeated in conference play, but all of your conference goals are still out in front of you.
They are, and again, we lost the game. That's the bottom line. Denison beat us. They have a very hungry group of great kids, fifth-year seniors, that refuse to lose. Had we won, we may have glossed over a lot of our, ineffective play, at times busted assignments, that kind of thing. I think we've cleaned that up. It's going to make us a better team down the stretch.
There were some positives that came out of that game, however. You got 2 turnovers on a fumble recovery and an interception. I know one of the disappointing parts was you weren't able to convert those into any points.
Yep.
You had on special teams a really good play where they were a little late on a punt attempt, and because you had a full punt block in, able to smother the punter before he was able to do anything with it, and that created a turnover in their territory that you were able to convert into a score. And then again, Brody Rucker continues to be a solid weapon, again perfect on the extra points, got a field goal in the game. He just continues to advance as a weapon for your football team.
He does. Brody's playing well. Blake White is punting well. Denison's very good on special teams. We handled that. And then I think for Denison, they look back, they made some critical mistakes in their 2 losses. But they are as good as any team in this league.
You get a chance to show what you've learned from that loss this Saturday. You go on the road to Kenyon, and this is one of those games that if you look at it on paper, everybody, the so-called experts who aren't around the program will look at it and say, well, this is no problem, an easy ball game. That's also probably what a lot of people thought about the Ohio Wesleyan-Hiram game last weekend, and that ended up being a one-point ball game. So is that a reminder to really everyone, including the players on this team, that you've got to come ready to play every single week in the North Coast?
I think we have a really serious group of Wabash men on our football team, and they have been assigned a task, and it's in their DNA to get it done. So I think we're going to go to Kenyon. They have a very effective run game on offense. We're going to play well Saturday.
Kenyon, in their win over Hiram just a few weeks ago, did run the football for 263 yards. They've got a couple of it's a young team overall, a lot of freshmen in the starting lineup, a couple of good sophomore running backs. Is that one of the things that you really feel on defense you've got to keep under control, is not allow their running game to take over and not allow them to take over the time of possession, which was something that Denison was able to do last Saturday?
Yeah, and that's not happened to us all year. It is. We need to stop there. They have two talented running backs. We need to be able to contain those guys. There were moments in the Kenyon-Wittenberg game. Wittenberg really struggled to keep those guys boxed in. So we can look at that film and say we need to play a great game on defense.
Yeah, I've been getting a good show from your defensive line. You and I both agreed in last week's show that Trey Fabbricini is just an incredible running back. He did get over 100 yards, but needed 32 carries to get there, and really only broke an even moderately big run. I think his longest run was 13 yards, but you were really able to keep him at bay for the most part in that game, and I thought that was a real tribute to the guys playing up front, the solid job they did all game at Denison and have done all year.
I think so too. Also, you're not going to face a back. He's big. Our guys did a great job, and if you had said to me, Denison's going to turn the ball over twice and they're going to muff a punt, I would have said we're going to win that football game. But they're good on defense.
Offensively, I thought one of your best drives against Denison, going back to that game for a second, they got a really good punt that then took a really good Denison roll, pinned you deep in your own end of the field, and then we had a penalty on the very first snap that backed us up even further. But then you marched 95 yards downfield and got a score. So this offense continues to be one that, when it's executing on all cylinders, it doesn't really matter what it faces, what kind of adversity it's under. It's been able to answer, and is that something they've got to continue to do going on the road at Kenyon this Saturday?
It is, and we just, as an offense, we know we are capable of scoring more than 24 points in a football game. We did not come close to playing our best game on offense, and we need to with these final four coming down the stretch.
Most important thing that this team needs to focus on going into the Kenyon game this Saturday?
Contain the Kenyon running backs.
That game will be a noon start in Gambier, Ohio. There are links to the live stats and the live broadcast. I'll also be there. I'll be providing an audio feed of the game on the Wabash College website. All of those links are available on the football schedule page at sports.wabash.edu/football, and go to the schedule link to get that information. Coach, thank you so much again for your time, and best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Don Morel Show, your chance to hear the thoughts and comments of the head football coach of the Little Giant program. We'll talk to you next week.
I think you come to the Belgian to win it. Wabash always fight.